Allied soldiers had a nickname for it: Hitler's Buzzsaw. The MG-42 didn't just fire bullets. It unleashed a storm. Its terrifying sound, a ripping, buzzing roar, cut through the battlefield and through the nerves of anyone unlucky enough to face it. Veterans later admitted they feared the sound of the MG-42 more than they feared tanks or artillery. It was the soundtrack of German firepower in World War II. The MG-42 was designed to replace the earlier MG-34. The MG-34 was a good weapon, accurate, versatile, and capable of both light and heavy machine gun roles. But it was expensive and time-consuming to make. Germany needed a weapon that could be produced faster, cheaper, and in greater numbers. In 1942, the answer appeared: the Maschinengewehr 42, or MG-42. This weapon was brutal in its simplicity. Stamped steel parts made it quick to produce, yet it maintained German precision. It could fire at a staggering rate of 200 to 2,500 rounds per minute. That's twice the speed of many Allied machine guns. To Allied ears, it didn't sound like single shots. It sounded like fabric tearing, a continuous roar that filled the air with dread. On the front lines, Allied troops from Eisenhower Dwight's armies in France to Montgomery Bernard's men in North Africa and Bradley Omar's divisions in Italy learned to recognize the sound instantly. Some said the MG-42 turned entire platoons back in panic. Others told stories of soldiers frozen in place, too scared to move under its deadly stream. The weapon was everywhere. In Normandy, hidden German positions swept the beaches with MG-42 fire. At Monte Cassino, its barrels blazed from ruined buildings. On the Eastern Front, Soviet soldiers charging with PPSH-41 submachine guns ran straight into its storm. Even the tough Soviet T-34 tank crews admitted they dreaded infantry support being cut down by the weapon. Allied troops had their own machine guns: the Browning M1919, the Bren gun, and the famous Thompson submachine gun. American infantry trusted their M1 Garand rifles, British troops their Lee Enfields, Soviets their PPSH-41s. These weapons were reliable, but none matched the sheer psychological power of the MG-42. Its rate of fire made it seem almost supernatural, like no human could stand against it. Winston Churchill once said that wars are won not only with strategy, but with tools. The MG-42 proved that. A handful of German soldiers with one of these guns could hold off waves of attackers. Entire Allied assaults stalled because of a few well-placed MG-42 nests supported by mortars and artillery. Hitler Adolf himself took pride in the weapon, often boasting that it gave German soldiers unmatched dominance in battle. Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister, made sure the MG-42 was praised in films and posters as a symbol of German superiority. But Allied engineers and soldiers saw it differently. They called it overkill, a weapon designed for terror as much as for practicality. Still, the MG-42 was not perfect. Its high rate of fire chewed through ammunition at an alarming pace. German supply lines, already stretched thin, often struggled to keep up. The barrels overheated quickly, forcing crews to swap them out in the middle of combat. And while it was cheaper than the MG-34, it was still demanding to produce compared to mass Allied small arms like the M1 carbine or the Browning. Despite those flaws, the MG-42 left a lasting mark. After the war, the design directly influenced many modern machine guns. In fact, the German Bundeswehr still uses a descendant of it today, the MG-3, which carries the DNA of the MG-42 into the 21st century. For Allied soldiers who survived, though, it wasn't about technical specs. It was about memory, the memory of the sound, the terror, and the comrades lost under its fire. For them, the MG-42 wasn't just a weapon. It was a symbol of fear. And for us, it stands as one of the most iconic and infamous weapons of World War II. a machine gun so terrifying that its buzzsaw roar still echoes in history. Subscribe for more World War II stories brought to life.